Have you ever held a coin so small, yet carrying the weight of a nation's rebirth? A coin that once jingled quietly in the pockets of fishermen, shopkeepers, and children running through the narrow limestone streets of Valletta, and now, decades later, has become a silent witness to Malta's transformation? Today, we dive deep into the story of the Malta 2-cent coin from 1972, the first of its kind after Malta gained independence. It's a tale of history, identity, myths, and surprising value in today's coin market. So, grab your magnifying glass, because this humble bronze coin hides more than meets the eye. To understand the 1972 Malta 2-cent coin, we must travel back to a time when Malta stood at a crossroads between empire and independence. For centuries, Malta had been ruled by foreign powers, the Knights of St. John, the French under Napoleon, and then the British Empire. By the mid-20th century, the Maltese people were ready to shape their own destiny. On the 21st of September, 1964, Malta gained independence from Britain. And with independence came the need for a distinct national currency. Under British rule, Malta had used the pound sterling system, pounds, shillings, and pence, a complex legacy of colonial times. But in 1972, Malta took a bold step. It adopted a decimal currency system, aligning itself with the modern financial world. The year 1972 marked the introduction of the Maltese lira, divided into 100 cents, each cent further into 10 mils. It was a complete transformation, and with it came a brand new family of coins. Among these newborn coins was the modest yet elegant 2-cent piece, carrying with it the fresh spirit of an independent Malta. Visual: archival footage of Malta in the 1970s, ships in the Grand Harbour, independence celebrations, and first currency rollout. The 2-cent coin, struck in bronze, symbolized the island's shift from a colonial outpost to a proud republic with its own voice and identity. Now, let's turn our attention to the coin itself, a masterpiece of simplicity and national symbolism. The obverse of the coin features the coat of arms of Malta as it appeared. In the early years after independence, a shield, bearing the Maltese Cross, representing courage, faith, and sacrifice. Above it, the word Malta proudly arches, declaring the nation's sovereignty. The reverse, designed by artist Christopher Ironside, depicts a stylized depiction of a prickly pear cactus. It's a fitting choice. The prickly pear is resilient, enduring, and deeply rooted, much like the Maltese people themselves. The coin's denomination, 2C, sits clearly below the design, simple yet commanding. Each coin was struck at the Royal Mint in London, a final echo of the old British connection, before Malta would later begin minting its own coins. With a diameter of 21.4 millimeters, a weight of 3.5 grams, and made of bronze, the 1972 Malta 2-cent coin was small but sturdy, designed to last generations. Its warm copper tone gleamed freshly in the 1970s, and even today, those well-preserved pieces carry a reddish sheen that tells a story of care and preservation. To appreciate the coin's true meaning, we must step into the Malta of the early 1970s. Imagine this: the scent of sea salt drifting through Valletta's narrow alleys, fishermen returning to Marsaxlokk with baskets full of lampuki, children playing marble games on sunlit streets, their small fists clutching a few shiny 2-cent coins. Back then, the 2-cent coin wasn't just currency, it was part of everyday life. You could buy a newspaper, a small loaf of Maltese bread, or a handful of sweets from the local shop. For many Maltese, this coin represented the first tangible symbol of economic independence. It wasn't British, it wasn't foreign, it was theirs. And for a newly independent nation, that meant everything. The coin circulated widely through the 1970s and 1980s, becoming one of the most recognized pieces in Maltese pockets. Like many old coins, the 1972 Malta 2-cent has gathered its share of myths and urban legends over the years. One popular myth claims that a secret version of the coin was struck without the Maltese Cross, making it one of the rarest coins ever produced. However, this is false. No verified examples have ever been recorded. It's believed that this myth began in local markets during the 1990s, when coin collectors noticed minor minting errors and assumed they were secret varieties. Another fascinating rumor suggests that some 1972 coins were made of brass instead of bronze, giving them a lighter color. While some slightly lighter-toned examples exist, they are likely the result of natural oxidation rather than an intentional alloy change. Then there's the enduring myth of the Royal Mint era, that a handful of 2-cent coins were accidentally struck with the obverse of another denomination. No official mint record supports this claim, but it adds to the coin's mystique. Even today, stories circulate online of collectors finding odd 2-cent pieces and selling them for hundreds of euros, though most turn out to be common circulation coins. Still, these myths have made the 1972 Malta 2-cent coin more than just a piece of metal. It's a cultural artifact surrounded by curiosity, speculation, and pride. So, how valuable is the Malta 2-cent 1972 coin today? In truth, most examples that circulated heavily are worth between 10 cents and €1, depending on where. However, collectors seek uncirculated and proof-like pieces, which can command higher prices. A pristine, uncirculated 1972 2-cent coin, especially one graded MS65 or above by a professional grading service, can fetch between €15 to €40 in auctions. In 2023 and 2024, a few exceptionally well-preserved examples sold for around €50 to €70, mainly to collectors seeking to complete full Maltese decimal sets. But the true gems are the proof coins, minted in very limited numbers for collectors. These were part of the official 1972 proof set, which included all denominations from 2 mils to 2 lira. A complete proof set can fetch €150 to €250 today, depending on condition and packaging. As with all coins, rarity and condition determine value, but nostalgia often adds a priceless emotional layer. For Maltese citizens who grew up in the 1970s, holding that 2-cent coin today feels like holding a piece of their youth. The Malta 2-cent coin continued to circulate well into the 1990s and early 2000s, but change was inevitable. In 2008, Malta joined the Eurozone, adopting the euro as its official currency. The lira and its cent denominations, including the 2-cent coin, were withdrawn from circulation. For many, it was a bittersweet moment. The 2-cent coin, once a symbol of national independence, was now replaced by a new European system. But collectors and history lovers saw it differently. They saw the transition as an opportunity to preserve these coins as relics of Malta's economic journey. Today, those 1972 coins serve as a reminder of the country's resilience and adaptability through decades of change. There's more to this coin than design and metal. The prickly pear cactus, chosen for the reverse design, holds deep meaning in Maltese culture. It represents survival in harsh conditions, thriving where little else can grow. It's a metaphor for Malta itself, a small island in the Mediterranean, surviving centuries of conquest, siege, and colonization, yet always retaining its unique spirit. Even the bronze color carries symbolism. Bronze, an alloy of copper and tin, is strong and resistant to corrosion, just like the Maltese people's endurance through time. Every element of the 1972 coin was thoughtfully chosen to reflect identity, pride, and resilience. The world of coin collecting is full of fascinating stories, and the Malta 2-cent 1972 coin has had its share of attention in auctions and numismatic circles. In 2022, a set of uncirculated 1972 Maltese coins sold for €180 on an online European auction, with the 2-cent coin noted for its lustrous finish and sharp strike. A year later, in 2023, another graded MS66 2-cent coin sold for €62, setting a modest but meaningful benchmark for high-quality pieces. And sometimes, collectors in Malta stumble upon long-forgotten rolls of these coins, hidden away in drawers since the 1970s, only to find they're now part of numismatic history. Each sale, each story, adds to the growing legend of this small but proud coin. 50 years later, the 1972 Malta 2-cent coin still holds a special place in the hearts of Maltese people. It represents the first chapter of Malta's monetary independence, a tangible expression of self-determination after centuries of foreign rule. To coin collectors, it's a valuable reminder of an era when artistry met national symbolism. To everyday Maltese citizens, it's a nostalgic link to their childhood and their country's growth. The coin may no longer buy anything, but it continues to buy memories, pride, and connection across generations. In the end, the Malta 2-cent coin of 1972 is more than a piece of bronze. It's a storyteller, whispering tales of independence, identity, and endurance. It reminds us that sometimes history hides in the smallest objects. So, the next time you come across a 2-cent coin from Malta, don't just see its value in euros, see it as a fragment of a nation's soul, a reminder of where Malta came from and how far it has journeyed. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed exploring the story behind this remarkable coin, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the fascinating world of numismatics. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and keep history alive.